Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Hess. Today I want to talk about using your default form and changing your control type to another type. So changing a single line text to a slider, changing your single line text to a radio choice or a drop down or a combo box. There's three simple things that you want to think about when you change the control. First, that's the location. Then you have the update property and then the default or default selected item property. Let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into it. Very simply, out of the box form, so we get an out of the box form here, and let's change the way that a field is input on the Power App side. Now, that doesn't mean that your field cannot be a choice on your data source side, on SharePoint or Dataverse. But what we're going to do today is we're going to have some data, and this time we're going to connect to Dataverse just because there's no difference with what we're doing today. But we have some fields here, and these are all out of the box. And what I want to do is I want to change a field. So how about the impact field? I want to change this field that right now is a single line text, and I want to change it to radio buttons. And I want you to think about this. Let's focus on this one field. All right, so let's clear out everything. But what I really want to focus on is this one field here, and let's give it lots of space. And we have a field here called impact. And right now it's taking up a lot of the space, right? We can zoom in here. What I want you to understand is it's not the text field that actually is writing to your data source. What actually is writing to your data source is in the card. So you can see we're in impact data card 3, and the update property is what is actually writing to your data source. All right, so we have a very simple text input, and it is expecting a number, right? So impact in our form is a number. The data type on our table is a number. So you see here, I've highlighted impact data card 4. This is the property that writes. So if I were to change this to 7, and then I write in here 21, and then we put in a risk name also because that's required, it's not going to write 21. Even though I have the number 21 in here, and then I submit, it's not going to submit the number 21. It's actually going to write to the data source the number 7. So you can see the name here is 21, but the impact is 7. When you think about this, the input does not matter at all. The text input is not what's important. It's not what's writing in here. We could have another label, and we could say this is 20, and not in text. It's a number. It's a number value, and this is text canvas 6. That's the name of it. We can change the update property to text canvas 6.text, and then resubmit under new 20 is the name. Submit. It's then going to write the number 20 because we changed the update property of our card. So you can see here we have new 20. It wrote the number 20. Your input can be anything that you'd like. So let's go ahead and delete this, and let's delete, oh, and you saw that broke our update property. Let's delete this input. Now what happens when you get here? It's going to tell you there's a few things wrong. First, it's the update property, but also is the Y value. So I want you to pay attention to that. It was using the label to put the Y value of our error message. So if you look down here, our error message doesn't know where the Y should be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to insert, let's do something simple first. Let's do a slider. Let's do a simple slider. All right, and on the right side, the value will be 0. No, let's do 1. The minimum value is 1, and the max value is 10. So the minimum value is 1. If we come back over here of the slider, the minimum value is 1. The max value is 10. Now what we can do is we can put a label in here just so we can see the slider value. So this is actually probably slider 1 dot value. So we can see here, as I increase the font size, as I slide the slider across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what's important is it doesn't know where the error message should be. So what you can do is you can say, hey, the slider is here. Let's replace the y value as slider1.y, slider1.height. The next one is the update property. It doesn't know how to write, but what do we want it to write? We can make it write the slider1.value. No problem, that's acceptable. We can make it write the new text canvas property. That's also fine. So text canvas 7 dot value, or no, text. It can also write the text value, whichever one you want. I want you to remove the idea that this has to be a text input and that the text input is what is writing. So now that we have a slider, we can put in our risk name. Let's think of something a little more clever this time. Scope creep. Let's just keep it something very basic. There's scope creep. It's a high impact. Let's say it's a high impact. We hit submit. We can now look at our data. So it's writing to our risk table. We can find scope creep here, and we can see our impact is 8. So that's how you can replace it with anything. Think about this. It doesn't have to be a slider. It can be 10 different radio buttons. So let's do radio input, and let's do 10 different ones. Let's try up here. We're going to go to our items property. And in between the brackets, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Get our comma right. Let's see here. There we go. We now have different radio buttons. Instead of the layout being vertical, we can go here and find the layout, and we can change this to horizontal. So now we have our radio buttons that we can select for our impact, or our label that's right here. Instead of it being slider value 1, this can be our radio group canvas 1 dot selected, right? Because we're selecting one of them, dot value. So now we have our group here, and as we select one, 3, 7, 9, 10, now we've replaced the value there. But what's important is we didn't break anything except for the Y value, which we can say is the radio group, canvas 1. But what's important is we did not break our update property, because our update property is built on this text value, text canvas 7.text. Okay, so you understand how that works. What writes to your data source is actually the update property of the card. It's not the text input. It's not the radio buttons. It's not whatever the control is inside the card. The card is what writes to your data source. So the next part that's very important, once you've replaced it, is updating it to the default item. So if you have a form or a gallery, so let's move our form over. Let's move our submit button over. Let's say we have a gallery here of all of our risk items. Now, we're not worried about the responsiveness or any of that right now. We're focusing on the basics. So we have a gallery of our selections. And in the form, there is a property called item. And this property aligns to your selected item. The form knows that the data source is risks, right? So over here above my head, the form knows the data source is risk. The gallery knows the data source is risk. So you can have them map to each other. So this item is actually going to be equal to, what's the gallery name? Gallery1 dot selected. Now, as I select something and my form needs to be, let's move this over, let's push this over. Let's make an edit button. I need an edit button to make sure my form is in edit mode. So this right here, I'm going to say edit form 3. Now that my form knows that it's in edit mode, right? You'll see as I select a property on the left side, the risk name is populated. That's because the value says parent.default. Now, if we change our label here to the text to parent.default, it then will be able to also highlight it. But you know what's not happening is now our radio button is broken because we've mapped it to parent.default. But what we really want to do is be able to make changes and it update that property. So I'm going to change this right back to what it was. Now, what we want to do is we want to change the default property of our radio buttons. On a radio button, you have default selected items. Whenever you see default selected items, that means it's a record. That means it's between curly brackets. A record is made up of key and value pairs. So on the left side, you have the key. It's very similar to an object, if you know what an object is. On the left side, you have the name of what it is, and on the right side, you have the actual value. In a record, and this is just for this record, this could be different. In this radio group, if you look at the fields over here, and then you try to add a field to it, it's saying that the name of the key is called value. So on the default selected properties of the radio group, the left side is value and the right side is the actual input of that value that it's storing. Now, if this was a text input, let's try text input. It's not going to be default selected item, at least I don't think it is. There is no default selected item. You just have value, right? Because it's not a record. So this time it's just gallery1.selected.impact, right? You don't need the curly brackets. It's not a record in between the curly brackets. So that's the difference. So whenever you have something that is multiple, that can be a record, which is your radio buttons here. It's also a combo box. You use the record value with the brackets. If it's a text input, or I believe a dropdown, let's check out the dropdown. This is in preview. This one is using default selected items. I wonder if you can choose multiple. So this is preview, this is new stuff. Let's try the classic dropdown. So dropdown, the classic one, this one is using default. You see that? Default. So it's not using default selected items. It's not expecting a record. So gallery1.selected.impact will work. So I just wanted to give you all that information. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my actual project and my actual out-of-the-box form. I now have my impact, my probability. I can create a new risk name. Let's do default selected items not set. The risk details is it doesn't select the current item. We have an impact of 9, a probability of 1, because now we understand. We click save. We now go back. We should have a new risk, and it's going to be up here in the very likely. Default selected item, not set. If it doesn't select the current item, it's under that project name. Pretty neat, huh? So that's where I'm going to leave you off today. I just wanted to kind of, I think I'm going to keep nailing out some of the basics. I feel like these videos, you want answers faster. I want to give you answers faster. If you like this video, if you like the new content and how I'm doing it in 2026, give me a like. Let me know in the comments. I want to make videos that you like. I want to make videos that I like. Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. I'll see you next week.